we've been having a little chat whilst we've had some downtime here, and Chaz was looking after the Ferrari challenge about what we might see. The track is about in perfect condition. It's not too dirty. It's rubbering in nicely. There's just about enough sunshine still, but we are waiting for the famous, perhaps infamous in some respects, Bathurst qualifying cloud, because just a little bit of shade on the tarmac can make so much difference. It'll be Garth, Richard Craill and me, John Hindhaugh, with Shea, Adam and Chad Neylon in the booth. And we are going to find out who is the king of the mountain and take the coveted Allan Simonsen Pole Award. And the greatest thing is that between this top 10, there is absolutely nothing. And if I was a betting man, which I'm not sure where the money would go. I might as well just get a dartboard, put the numbers on, and blindfold throw a dart at the wall, because that's about as scientific as it needs to be for this run at pole position. So settle down, get yourselves comfortable. Thank you for joining us here at the circuit today and on our live stream across the world. Good to have your company, and don't forget it's a very early start for us tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 5:30 local, which is Australian Eastern summertime, and then we go all the way through to the end. But first we set pole position, and that's what's next here at Mount Panorama, the 2025 Meguiar's Bathurst 12 Hours. It's the Pirelli pole battle next on track.
Tell me where the freaks at.
Sydney, get ready for an unforgettable start to the 2025 Repco Supercars Championship. A new season of Supercars begins with 3 big days of racing action, plus a huge pit party on the main straight Saturday night featuring one of the world's best DJs, Timmy Trumpet, and special guest, the Sunset Brothers. Sydney Motorsport Park, Feb 21 to 23. Race by day, party by night.
Now at Ticket Tech.
Tell me where the freaks at.
Yeah, Tim, where the freaks are at. I'm going to tell you where they're at. Sydney Motorsport Park is where the freaks are going to be at. For Timmy Trumpet, live with the opening round of the Repco Supercars Championship. We are going to be taking the party to the racetrack and pit lane, shutting down the front straight once the racing stops to continue the party long into the night under lights at Sydney Motorsport Park. That is a cool way to celebrate the opening of the Repco Supercars Championship. Go and get your tickets so you can check it out live on our coverage from the opening race of the championship. Hard to believe that we're ready to go, and finals looming late in the year for the Adelaide 500. The Sprint Championship not far away from kicking off. Looking forward to that one, Garth, and I'm looking forward to this Pirelli pole battle because we've got our 10 set. Now, it's very different to how a top 10 shootout would normally work here. A little bit more like a standard qualifying session.
Yeah, 15 minutes for the Pirelli pole battle, and it's a little bit different with a GT car where it takes, potentially, some of the manufacturers, it takes 2 or 3 laps to get the tyre into the window where you'll get the maximum out of the car. The man that set pole position last year, Sheldon van der Linde, he went out, he did 1 lap, put the car back in the garage, job done. So there is variations. The BMW is very good at turning the tyre on early. The Mercedes, and we saw from Maro Engel in qualifying earlier, he could do 4, 5, 6 laps on the 1 tyre and still get plenty of speed from that car. So there'll be varying strategies about how they maximise this opportunity in 15 minutes.
A few different names in there. Of course, we expect to see the big international stars mixing it with some of our Repco Supercars Championship drivers. But there are a few Australians in the mix that we're not used to seeing run here in Australia in typical form, and Scott Andrews comes to mind there.
Oh, well, Scott Andrews did a fantastic job in the 44 Valmont Audi. Been racing in American Australian, but hasn't been living in Australia for 10 odd years. Hasn't done this race before, but doing lots of sports car racing in the US, and making his debut in the Bathurst 12 Hour this weekend, and has done a beautiful job putting that car 10th into the Pirelli pole battle. And he was sort of hopeful. Yeah, I think we might get in. I don't think we'll get pole, but if you get yourself in the game, you never know what could happen over the course of the next 15 minutes. I thought Lee Holdsworth did a really nice job in the Hallmark Audi. And one that really struggled to get in was Chaz Mostert. We really expected that those Arise Racing Ferraris would be really right at the pointy end of the field. They've been struggling. Jackson Evans didn't make it into the Pirelli pole battle, and Chaz Mostert only just made it in 8th.
Yeah, I can't wait to see if Chaz has got something up his sleeve for this last 15-minute session. Shea Adams standing by down there at Audi, and they really turned some heads in that final qualifying session earlier today.
Yeah, they did, and the Audis have always been strong here at Mount Panorama, but no one was stronger earlier than Ricardo Feller in that final session to make it into the top 10 in a commanding style. Brock Feeney, you got to witness that session. First off, how nervous were you that the Audi would even make it to this shootout?
Yeah, we were probably, well, I was a little bit worried, I suppose, with about 5 minutes to go. We're just outside the 10, but yeah, Ricardo did a great job to put it up the front. Obviously, that session doesn't really matter. You just want to be in the 10. So, yeah, we want to be up the front here, but tomorrow's the one that, yeah, you get the trophy for.
I mean, this is a battle, and it is for a trophy, a legendary trophy. So how much effort is the team putting into getting the car into the front?
Yeah, for sure. You're going to try your hardest. I've missed out. I think I've been second or something for the last 2 years. So I'm sort of hoping we can go one better this year. But look, the team's been doing a great job all weekend. We got a nice car to drive. It's comfortable for us. So we'll see what we can do. I'm sure there's some pretty fast cars up there that can turn up the wick. So we'll wait and see.
How different is this Bathurst when your job was effectively done by lunchtime and you don't get in the car again until who knows when in the race?
Yeah, exactly. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. We haven't had a big chat on strategy yet, but yeah, for me, it's going to be interesting. We don't really know who's even starting yet, so there's still a lot to play out. But yeah, obviously we need to figure out where we qualify and our speed, and then we'll go from there.
Do you want to start? I mean, do you want to drive the mountain at night?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I mean, whatever's going to be best and whatever's going to be put us in the best position for the end of the race. So honestly, I'll do what I need to do. I'm going to try and go to bed in a couple of hours anyway, so I'm trying to get some sleep before tomorrow.
Well, hopefully you have a little bit to celebrate tonight before you get that early bed, and good luck tomorrow.
Cheers, thank you.
And guys, it's such a cool thing. Audi, with one of the oldest cars in the field, very little support from the factory as it exists now. 3 cars in the shootout. They've already rolled out the sister car, the number 9. That one being driven by Dean Fiore, Lee Holdsworth, and of course Mark Sini. It's a really great experience to have all 3 of the Audi R8s in this shootout. And Chad, I don't know, do you think that maybe one of them can walk away with this award?
Absolutely. We've seen some amazing moments from Audi before. Nicely done, Shea. Let's break down what's coming here in the Pirelli pit bunker with this amazing Pirelli pole battle. We're going to really check out the form guide and how it's played over the years in qualifying. But first, a little snapshot of how it's all going to play. It's just the one 15-minute session this year. That's changed from where it was 2 5-car sessions earlier. That means you've got about time for 6 laps across those 15 minutes. And it does double the risk of a potential red flag coming out. We talked about that earlier in qualifying today. Now, when we go across to the quickest pole laps across what has been pretty much the last decade or so, Maro Engel's time at a 2-minute flat 0.8 stands out as the real hero lap time. Shane van Gisbergen, that lap now so old with so much history and changes in these cars that's gone on since then, so that's pretty impressive as well. But since we've gone to this new 15-minute qualifying era, we've had a big change in how we've gone about getting these fastest lap times. So if I go across now and break down how those last few poles have been achieved, it looks like this. Chaz Mostert did it in 2022 by going fast and then backing off to let that tyre cool down and then doing another quick lap at the end. We saw a lot of drivers doing that earlier today. For Maro Engel, completely different, flat out throughout the entire session. And for Sheldon van der Linde, he got it done on one lap straight at the top of the session. So is that how Sheldon's going to get it done today? Will it come early in the heat, or will we see Maro going deep, deep, deep into the session and that quick lap happening right at the end? Let's get up to the commentary team because this is 15 minutes of unmissable television.
Thanks, Chad. Nicely explained. Short, sharp, simple. That's the outcome. Fastest driver will put their car on pole position and will win the Allan Simonsen Pole Award, which has been awarded every year since 2014 at this event, and named after our late great mate Allan Simonsen, who was one of the most brave, daring, electrifying, exciting drivers ever to grace us here on the mountain. And they are all the attributes you need to put a car on pole position. So there was no one more appropriate to name the 12 Hours Pole Award after. The drivers to take part in this. Lucas Stoles is behind the wheel of car 75 for Sun Energy One Racing. Maro Engel, 2 times a pole sitter for Team GMR, is behind the wheel of car 888. Lucas Auer in the 77, who was so good earlier today. So too, Cam Waters, who's got a couple of poles in the great race in the 1000 to his credit. Can he add a 12-hour pole and that Allan Simonsen Pole Award trophy to his credit? Lee Holdsworth has got a pole position in this race way back in 2013. He's in the number 9 Audi. Ricardo Feller, that car. This car has been so fast all weekend. And can he break Brock Feeney's second place curse for the last 2 years at this race? Chaz Mostert, well, he's been the king of quali here. 2 pole positions in 12-hour spec, pole positions in 1,000 spec, pole positions in GT Championship spec. He's Ferrari's hope in this one. And then perhaps some surprises. Scott Andrews for Audi, who scraped his way into the top 10 for Gaia Valmont Racing. He's a chance for Audi. And Lawrence Heinrich, the vastly experienced international GT ace for the Ben Motorsport Park. He's the sole Porsche representative in this top 10.
There's only 9 cars on my timing screen.
Who are we missing? Who's the 10th? It's a BMW we're missing.
Yeah.
Right now, we've not seen a car roll out from BMW Team WRT, and it's sitting in the lane, and that would indicate that they might be thinking of replicating their strategy from last year, which saw Sheldon van der Linde get pole position, go out lap, pole lap, pit lap, and that was his day done.
And then a cup of coffee. Thanks very much. Ciao.
Lucas Stoltz, Maro Engel's made his way back to the lane, so some more tyre prep going on for the GMR 888 Mercedes. Lucas Stoltz, when we're on board with him, he was continuing to warm the tyre on the 75 AMG 8 Mercedes, so don't expect to see some hot laps right away at the start of this session, but it will build, no doubt.
Zero concern with the GMR Mercedes AMG. It did the outlap. Maro brought it back in. They parked it. Crew didn't even actually get up out of their chairs in the back of the garage until about 30 seconds ago and walk forward. Maro's letting the car cool back down and also into the pit lane doing the same thing. The Craft Bamboo Mercedes team too. So maybe this is some sort of a Mercedes strategy, but it could have a lot to do with traffic, gentlemen, and where these cars cycled out onto the racetrack.
I don't mind it, actually, because what it means is that it just pushes the pole position time right to the very end of the session for a bit of drama. Qualifying underway here at Mount Panorama and the Meguiar's 12-hour.
I sort of understand this.
No, they're doing the one lap and done, absolutely, with the BMW
everybody,
thing.
yeah.
So they could see they ran the tyres out, so the tyres have been out the back of the garage baking in the sun at WRT, as all the teams in this session would have done. They run the tyres out as quick as they can, get them on the car and send the car on its way. And I just feel with just over 10 minutes left in this session, so it's already counted down 4 minutes without anyone really doing anything yet, that they're just going to go and do that one lap like they did last year. They've obviously confident in their preparation, confident in Sheldon van der Linde laying one down straight away and seeing what they can do in this Pirelli pole battle.
Here's Chazzy warming up the Arise Racing GT Ferrari 296. It's been an awesome car and they've been creeping up on it this weekend. Lots of people keeping their cards very close to their chest across the practice sessions here. Ferrari have been on pole at Mount Panorama before in 2017 with the great Tony Vilander for Maranello Motorsport. Can Chaz give them a second pole?
Chaz went purple pit lane just to keep us guessing, keep everyone on their toes in the session. Lee Holdsworth's gone to the top of the 5.7. If a red flag it or someone oils the track down now, he'll start from pole. So
the irony is there's 10 minutes of red flag time in this session, so it's almost another session again if it gets delayed.
True.
Scott Andrews.
I totally understand what's going on, but you could get to a situation here where everybody's trying to do their one and done at the same time. And that's the worry, is coming across. If you go too early, you could come across 2 cars at the chase, as we saw last. If you go too late, you could catch somebody on a slowing down lap. It's a bit of a battle of mind as much as it is of speed.
Scott Andrews still building tyre temperature in his Gaia Valmont Racing Audi R8. Incredible livery design. Marcel Zalua and Sergio Perez, who are the business partners and long-time mates who have raced together for years and years and years. They put this program together and they try and one-up themselves every year from a livery point of view. Trying to one-up himself in lap time is Cam Waters, who chucks a 222 car down the Gazoo Racing Dipper and across the top of Mount Panorama. And he is on course for the first representative, really fast lap time of the session. Ricardo Fella going even quicker than him in the Audi R8 LMS. Audi has 4 pole positions to their credit here, equal with Mercedes AMG. So there's a little tiebreaker on offer there for most successful qualifying in 12-hour history.
Just a reminder, we were down in, well, fantasy land almost last session out for people to get in here. We're still a ways away from that 204.5. So there's time out there. Lucas Stoltz, for the sake of probity, I will tell you he is on top with a 204.5630, and then is replaced by the bronze car of Lee Holdsworth in the number 9 Audi, and then Cam Waters, excuse me, in the Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, the 222 car.
Here's Fella for Jamek Racing, Audi Custom Sport Racing Australia. Goes to third with a 203.5. So purple first and final sectors, but his middle sector gave away a lot of time across the top, and his teammate watches on the podium here, Liam Talbot, as the Swiss ace does his job. Here's Lucas Stoltz, Sun Energy One Racing, a win-win second, their results the last 3 years, but their qualifying results for the last 3 years. Third in 2022, fourth in 2023. Can you guess what last year was?
Fifth.
It was fifth, believe it or not. Proof you don't need to be on pole to win the Meguiar's 12-hour, but they probably like to stop that run of going backwards every year. And Luca might be on to do that Gartana with the lap he's on at the moment.
Yeah, very fast in the first sector. Strong middle sector, but his cumulative of the 2 sectors as he entered Conrod Straight is the fastest so far for this session. So Stoltz continues to build. Cam Waters is also on a very strong first sector, and Ricardo Fella is now starting to line up the timing screen. So it was a bit of a slow start to this session, and we promised you it will build, and it is beginning to build now. So, and we'll follow Stoltz to the line because he will try and trouble the top. He'll get there before Waters. So nicely into the final corner for Stoltz. Comes to the line, looking to beat a 3-0, does a 2-4. Now we wait for Cam Waters because he's about 4/10 up the road on what Stoltz did to the end of the second sector. Lee Holdsworth's looking pretty shiny as well, just in front of Waters. So expect Holdsworth to pop up and Waters to trouble it as well.
And Sheldon von der Linde has pulled out the pit lane in the WRT BMW, the black 32 car. He is considerably off kilter with everybody else. He's a couple or 3 laps behind everyone else as we get Cam Waters going down to a 202 flat.
So Waters' time in the qualifying session itself was a 201.98.
Yeah.
So the track's there. The track has the potential if anyone can lay one down. Let's see what Fella's got. He was fastest in qualifying with a 201.89.
Wow.
201.76. So he's improved on what he did earlier in the day in qualifying to get himself into this Pirelli pole battle.
The track really is on. Lauren Heinrich is on as well for the Ben Motorsport Park and EMA Motorsport with Porsche. And they've got a great lineup. It's a Pro-Am car, but in outright contention from a qualifying point of view. Quickest of everybody across the top of the mountain. It should be in the ones. It is, but it goes second with a 201.89.
And he's the best at Pro-Ams as well. Scott Andrews just dropping into third now, fourth in the 44 Audi. Turned in a 202.445 for the man returning to his homeland to race after
Lucas
a decade away.
It's on some
He's on a lap.
This is huge. It's very close to the numbers in the first and second sectors, to that 2-minute .00.88 that Maro Engel did here in 2023. Craft Bamboo Racing.
Nicely into the chase. Does he drop a wheel? No, he doesn't. So a good run out of the chase down to the final corner. We saw in qualifying itself, this car was very active in the rear as he turned in. Sends it at the final corner, rotates the car nicely. Doesn't drop a wheel. Very nicely done. A 1.27. Near on half a second up on Ricardo Fella and nearly 7/10 faster than what we saw for P1 in qualifying earlier. That is a statement.
Don't write the headlines quite yet, though. Lauren Heinrich has still got the fastest sector 2 in the number 91 Ben Motorsport Park Porsche. Remember, that is the sole Porsche in there. The big news, if you weren't with us earlier, is the number 911 car with the 2 of the 3 drivers that won here last year did not make the Pirelli pole battler, and they will have to start from the 6th row of the grid tomorrow.
Ricardo Fella closes the gap to Lucas Howe. It's down to just over 1/10 of a second. His teammates Brock Feeney and Liam Talbot watching on. It was just as Ricky crossed the line, like, Brock was, yeah.
He's second again. Cam Waters just backed up his 202.00 with a 202.02. So there's great repeatability in the 222 car, but right now it's 7/10 off.
Chaz Mostert
on a lap.
Chaz Mostert beginning to find his mojo as well. He's now got the fastest centre section. Across the top there.
It's a fair way away in the first sector, though. Nearly half a second away in the first sector. Chaz does a nice job at the chase. Made a mistake earlier in practice into this final corner. Very un-Chaz Mostert-like. See what it looks like. He's driving this car hard at the moment. He's having to absolutely wring its neck. Currently 10th, jumps to 4th, a 1-7 for Chaz Mostert.
More to come, you'd think, from the Arise Racing GT Ferrari. So
he did a 2-2 qualifying, so you found half a second.
Imagine finding half a second from your qualifying and you're still not even on the front 2 rows because he's just been bumped down to 5th.
201.7 on his first flying lap. So he's going to have to do more than one this year if he wants back-to-back Allan Simonsen Pole Awards. That's not been done for more than a decade at this venue. Waters pressing on in 222. He's been shuffled down to 9th place at a 202 dead, and he's done a personal best across the top of the mountain. So there's an improvement on here for the Scott Taylor Motorsport AMG with Thomas Randall and Craig Lowndes to share the driving duties. But there isn't. Well, he gets into the ones, but doesn't change his position. So now, to be in the top 5, you've got to do a 1-7, which is some kind of lap time at this place.
And Lucas Howes has looked at his cards and said, that's it. 201.2, I'm sticking on that. Come and beat me if you can in the last minute and 30 seconds.
Sheldon van der Linde says, challenge accepted, and goes purple in the first sector. So the BMW pressing on with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go.
Maro Engel, a very strong first and second sector, and remember in qualifying how strong he was in this last sector. He caught us off guard. We didn't think he was going to pop in at all, and he popped up to the top 3. So Engel, not as strong as van der Linde in the first sector, but not far away. But he was so good here in the last sector in qualifying. So let's see what this 888 Group M Mercedes has got with Maro Engel aboard.
Mostert's flying, but he's giving away a lot of time in the first sector, the Ferrari. So he's got to do all the heavy lifting at the end of the lap to get that car at the front. Let's see what Maro's got. 2 times a pole award winner here, does a 1-5 and remains in 3rd. He'll get 1 more lap if he wants it. Here's Mostert in the Ferrari, purple across the top. It's an improvement. Gets him on row 2 with a 201.70, but it's not enough for the front row of the grid. Here's Sheldon.
Sheldon van der Linde was out late. Hasn't had a great middle sector, though. Nailed the run up Mountain Straight. Comes across the line. He moves to the outside of row 2, but he's half a second away, give or take. Did notice how much the Engel 888 car was porpoising coming down through into this chase. He's the 75 Express car coming through. Lucas Stoltz, 7th position for Stoltz, doesn't improve his position.
Guys, if you told me that 9 of the 10 cars in this session were going to be in the 1s after qualifying, I would have said, you're no chance.
Checkered flag,
absolutely no chance. The level has gone up in this session.
Checkered flag out, session's done. There's one more opportunity for those still on the racetrack. 3 cars are in the lane.
Watch out for van der Linde. Is he still pushing? No, he's off.
I think he's wrong.
He's done. Lee Holdsworth has just done a 202.17. So a 202.17, and you're 8/10 away from pole, and you're 10th on the grid. And I think Lucas Auer and Craft Bamboo Racing have got this one, although is there anything left from Maro? So he set a personal best middle sector across the top of Mount Panorama. The problem is he's got to find almost 3/10 of a second to get this car on pole position and get a 3rd Allan Simonsen Pole Award. There's a bunch of drivers on 2 poles apiece here at Mount Panorama. Maro and Chaz, both of them, but I don't think there'll be a tiebreaker today. Has the final sector been good enough for Engel? The checkered flag is flying. This is about the last roll of the dice. Will it be Lucas Auer on pole, or will it be Maro Engel? It's going to be Lucas Auer and Craft Bamboo. Engel went quicker with a 2:01.56, but it wasn't enough. And on his one and only flying lap, Lucas Auer with a 2:01.27 will get pole position for the Meguiar's Bathurst 12-hour. And Craft Bamboo Racing, after years of service here at Mount Panorama, nabbed their first Allan Simonsen Pole Award.
They've gone back to the old Hulk livery as they used to have on the previous manufacturer, the Aston Martin. They hoped it would bring them some luck here. Well, tick one in the box. They're going to be gathered around the Allan Simonsen Award. The trophy for the Pirelli pole battle has gone their way. Good start to the weekend.
First pole for all three drivers in that car. So Maxi Goetz, who's been coming here a long time, finally gets to start from pole position. Lucas Auer did the job, and Jaden Ojeda, who's one of the bright young rising stars of Australian motorsport and now an employed Mercedes AMG factory driver. He's got the nod there, and he will start and share that car on pole. I'm not sure who will do the starting business in that race. That's Jaden on the right-hand side of screen in the white T-shirt, congratulating Lucas, who's done the business there in the 77. That's a great story and a great lap from the 30-year-old from Austria, the current World Challenge European champion. And he and his team will accept the Allan Simonsen Pole Award very soon. Mercedes AMG on pole position on the mountain. Audi on the outside of the front row, and then it's Mercedes for GMR, and BMW qualify fourth. So Van der Linde backs up pole last year with fourth, with the Rise Racing GT fifth for Ferrari, thanks to Chaz Mostert. First of the Porsches out of sixth, which is still a great effort for those guys.
That's the Pro-Am pole sitter as well.
Yep, absolutely. Sun Energy One out of seventh. The Valmont car out of eighth for a great job by Scott Andrews. 222, Cam Waters hustled that thing. It's only 6/10 away from pole. He's ninth, and then Lee Holdsworth drove superbly for Hallmark and Team MPC to 10th position in a great Pirelli pole battle. Chad Neylon, what a lap it was from Lucas Auer.
Very special indeed. A special lap and a special trophy and a special presenter as well. Hector Lester is here today to present the Allan Simonsen Trophy to Craft Bamboo Racing. And why is that special? Because this is the man that Allan Simonsen drove for. He owned the Ferrari here and is a long-time competitor. So thank you, Hector, for presenting the trophy here today. And well done to this team on an amazing performance. I'm going to get a quick word from Lucas first. You have not put anything out there that you weren't going to be wondering about today. That was an amazing lap, and you did it earlier today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Big thanks to my teammates, to my team, Mercedes AMG for a great car, and really looking forward to the race tomorrow.
Special trophy, this one, in honour of Allan Simonsen, and to have his car owner here today makes it doubly special.
Yes, absolutely. It's really a legendary place and such a cool circuit. I'm really looking forward to the race.
Absolutely, as are we. Hey, Juice, great job, mate. You guys have worked together on this operation so far this weekend. You found a really happy home at Mercedes AMG.
Yeah, it's awesome. My first race for Mercedes AMG, and it's awesome. You know, Lugie's first time here, but you wouldn't think it looking at the lap time. He drives like a full professional, so it's really cool. We're really looking forward to tomorrow, so hopefully we can have a good race.
The most experienced driver out of the three here at Bathurst in the 12-hour is Maxi Goetz. Great combination. Your chances tomorrow?
Hopefully we're surviving till the end, till the last big showdown. In the end, we know all it's come down to the last pit stops and the strategy calls, and I think we are good prepared. We were unlucky last year. We came back, now we're starting from pole, which is great. Luki did a great job. I think the team is fully motivated, and we have a big job to do tomorrow, but we try the best to keep us up there where we're starting.
Well done to Craft Bamboo. Well done to Lucas on getting that amazing lap. And congratulations. Thanks to Pirelli, the Allan Simonsen Trophy presented to Craft Bamboo Racing here in 2025.
The car that gave us the most excitement at the end of that session was the 888 Mercedes Group M. Mick, it's not a pole position for you guys, but a P3 is a really good starting spot, and pole hasn't won in a very long time. So you still feeling good about your race car?
Yeah, I mean, we started on pole 2 years ago and we finished third, so hopefully starting third makes us win the race, but we will see. Maro was happy about the car. I have to say we did not expect that lap time from Maro, so it must be a really good lap. But then if you look, the field is super close. It will be a long, difficult race, but we have to remember it's a 12 hours, so a lot will happen.
do you feel like this is potentially the best driver lineup that you've ever had with Mercedes as well, with the 3 M's? You seem to be getting along really well.
Yeah, we had very good fun so far over the weekend. 2 years ago we also had Lelo on the car, so it was a good lineup. But yeah, I think we have very strong lineup. A lot of other cars also have strong lineups. As I say, we have to keep out of trouble, keep the car in one piece for the last 2 hours. Be smart on strategies, because I think it might be a bit open tomorrow with what we can do. Then we'll see. I think we still have to improve the car a bit on long run, but we will see tonight.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, the stage is set for 12 hours tomorrow, but let's just relive the 15 minutes that we've seen, Garth Tander. High energy in that session. Kept a lot of people guessing. Mercedes-AMG coming out on top.
Yeah, it was a slow burn, that session, only 15 minutes, but boy, did it light up when it mattered at the end. And Lucas Hauer's lap was absolutely awesome. He had a bit of a scrappy run in qualifying, but he certainly went to work in between qualifying and the pole battle and tidied up his run, and that was a mega lap, a 1-2, not far away from dipping into the 2-minute segments, which you haven't seen all that much around Mount Panorama in the past.
Not too many drivers shot for the first crack of the mountain and conquer this place.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pro. He's raced DTN in the GT3 era. He's raced GT World Challenge, so he's a factory AMG driver. And any of these factory drivers that turn up at Mount Panorama for the first time, when they walk around the track, they almost scare themselves a little bit. When they jump in the cockpit, they go to work and they know how to drive these cars fast, doesn't matter where they are.
And Mercedes-AMG, from Maro Engel a few years back now to this one, have the first and second quickest laps ever around Mount Panorama in qualifying trim. They've got the most cars in the field as well. Mercedes would have to be liking their chances tomorrow.
Yeah, they've got strong cars. Clearly, the 77 car is strong. The 888 car is strong. Don't forget Jules Gounon, Lucas Stoltz and Kenny Habul. They've won the race the 2 of the last 3 years. So AMG are very, very strong. But don't forget BMW. I don't think they maximised that session. The 46 car in qualifying had a few dramas, so they weren't in the pole battle. But they'll be strong in the race as well. The Audis, they haven't had success at the Bathurst 12 hour for a while. They'll be keen to really stamp their authority on this race, because they're coming close to the end of their GT3 program. They want to get another win at the mountain too.
Some of the more familiar names, Cam Waters and Chaz Mostert, they tried their hardest, particularly Chaz Mostert.
Yeah. I mean, the Ferrari, we fully expected those Ferraris to be right at the pointy end of the field, and they've had to work really hard this weekend. And when Chaz goes to work at Bathurst, it's great to watch, and he didn't disappoint in that session.
In the heat of the Bathurst sun, it was the naturally aspirated cars that got the job done here today with the turbo cars. They'll be loving the early morning conditions tomorrow, though, and it's going to be bright and early here at Bathurst. We love that first hour of the race with the sun coming up. 5:30 a.m. You do not want to miss it. Garth and the boys will be back for another big day at the mountain. Nice and early, set the coffee pot on and get set for 12 huge hours of action. The 2025 Meguiar's Bathurst 12 Hour live tomorrow.
And there is the pit lane exit open. Oh, was giving it a go.
Lucas Hauer going on with it now. Mercedes-AMG on top and Ferrari P2. Arabella, who has flown to the top of the pops in that Audi R8. The night we're in, and he's got it wrong in the chase. The defending winners are going to start 11. This is huge. Lucas Hauer with a 2:01.27 will get pole position for the Meguiar's Bathurst 12 Hour.